Greetings, toy hunters! Welcome back to another toy review video here, Toy Hunter 1701. Today I have Masters of the Universe Revelations Man-at-Arms. Now, He-Man figures have come out pretty regularly in the last year or so. Say what you will about the Revelations show. I like a little more He-Man in my He-Man show. But I'm not going to go off on a tangent on the series in these videos. Let's just take the toys at the face value and see how they are. Now, I'll tell you right now, the box and the packaging for these figures is vastly superior to the Retro Play line. How many times have you gone shopping and found Retro Play figures on mangled cards? Like, more times than not, they're always mangled. So I appreciate a window box packaging for these Revelations figures. So just taking a look at it in the package, I think the paint and the sculpt work on these guys is pretty outstanding. Especially, you know, this Man-at-Arms, they have kind of the metallic orangish paint in different shades. You've got a lighter and a darker on his armor. It doesn't look like there's any paint on the weapon, but you've got metallic blue on his belt, you've got red, you've got dark blue. I'm almost positive that it's molded in this black, and everything else is painted, which is nice. You've got some more of that metallic orange on his hands. Looks a little thin, doesn't look great there. But the packaging itself, I think, is awesome. I think it's great that, you know, we're getting figures this size at a $20 price point. That look as good as they do. They all kind of boast the 30 points of articulation. We'll see if that's just a number, kind of the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends style, or if that's functional articulation. But on the front, you got Masters of the Universe Revelations, what figure it is. I like the art on the sides here. You got all this drawn-in art here. You got Masters of the Universe Man-at-Arms, blah, 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 blah. You got a little write-up on here, pause it and read it. You got your cross-sell of all the figures that are coming in the same wave. Then you got that on the side. And then you got Masterverse at the top. So, let's crack them open. See just what we have in store here. So, box to the side. Yeah, a little bit of that action there. So, comes in a little cardboard tray. You got, of course, sort of the stone castle gray skull backdrop kind of thing. Whatever. So there's our figure in our little bubble. That's his weapon. And it's his typical Man-at-Arms orange mace. There's the sculpting work. Sculpt on the handle. It's got a little bit of a bend to it, but some heat might be able to bring that out. And then we got an assortment of extra hands. Here's our, holding hand for the mace. We got a fist for the other side. We got a fist for the right side. And we got kind of an open hand for that side as well. So you got two lefts, two rights. And then we've got all these little stupid nub holders. You'll know that I despise these. I'm not a fan of them. I wish they didn't exist. Just build a bubble that will clamp your figure in without requiring all this extra garbage. Is that too much to ask from the toy packagers of the world? Not to curse us with these things. Got one up here on this arm. There they go. Get rid of that crap. Throw that on the floor. Man-at-Arms, come on out. Alright, so here is our Man-at-Arms figure. Alright, so the armor is a separate piece here. Kind of the old He-Man way of doing business. These are all separate pieces. They don't stay in place particularly well. You can see this one's just kind of doing a thing. this shoulder does not want to go down without excessive force. Ooh, that does not feel good. All right, but that's as close as I'm willing to go with it. So, all right. So without weaponing him up, let's go ahead and do an articulation check. So the head, looks like we got a ball peg. Ooh, we got some good downage on that. Good downage. Not a lot of uppage. Side to side. Side to side will be a side to side will be kind of an angle. Up, down. Not much in the confused department. It's more just play in the joint than anything. We got eyebrows. Eyes are painted okay. Not the sharpest. He got his big Tom Selleck special mustache there. We got our wrist bands painted just like the belt here. Overall, I mean, we got a diaphragm joint there. So, all right, 30 points of articulation. We'll count the head as 1. I'm not going to leave that shoulder. The shoulder goes all the way up and out. And we got swivel there. Bicep swivel. Is that a single or double? Well, let's try the elbow on this arm. Double jointed elbow, but it only gets you kind of 90 degrees because the sculpt kind of interferes. Wrist swivel. No in and out on. Well, it's got a joint for it. It's just really tight. So you got wrist. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call a swivel 5 and the in and out 6. So 13. Diaphragm 14. Wrist swivel 15. So we got 16, 17, 18, 19. Double jointed knees 20, 21. We got a boot swivel 22. 3, 4, 5. And the feet we got down 26. 27. The rocker is kind of the Marvel Legends style rocker. 28. Whatever. If you want to call it 30, call it 30. But I don't like these rockers because what it ends up doing is rotating the foot more than kind of giving you a real rocker. So you've got to do, some manipulation there. I like the boot cut on the Masters Universe. This one is super loose. This one, a little better. So the quality of the joints is kind of, inconsistent even on this particular copy. Let's go ahead and put his mace in his hand. Oh, God. And this is, I feel like this might be painted or molded. If it's painted, it's going to rub off because this is tight. All right, there he goes. So, there, he's got his mace. I'm not going to switch these hands out. It's got these little kind of not quite ball pegs. Call them arrow pegs. I don't know if that's even showing up on camera. I can't see. It's got those little guys there for the hand connection. And then you've got the 2 fists. This one doesn't have the armor plate on the one arm. And then here's the other 2 hands. So your left hand is going to have the armor plate and the right hands aren't. That's the open one. So there he is. Let's see if I can get him into any kind of a standing pose. How's his balance? Not bad, not bad. We get some more dynamicness out of it there. Yeah, I mean, this diaphragm joint, it's there. The range is kind of limited. But with how hard the retro play one, which depends on which line you're collecting. If you're kind of a vintage collector, you might like the retro play line. If you're more of a classics collector, you may like the classics line better. And I think this is more along the lines of the classics, but at a $20 price point. speaking of, let's get him in for a size comparison with the bow-legged He-Man Classics from the Battle Cat He-Man 2-pack that they put out. I actually think the articulation might be better on the Classics, but not by a lot. So if you stand him up, he's probably half a head taller than Classics He-Man, but I don't think that's a terrible scale. I mean, he's coming in right a tickle over 6.5 inches as it is, and Classics He-Man is just a tickle. No, he's right at 6.5 inches. So that's kind of where they scale. Well, the Revelations scales with the Classics. I think that's a decent scale. And obviously, Masters of the Universe Revelations is going to be a lot cheaper to acquire than Classics. Myself, I was a Transformers Masterpiece collector when Classics came out. I kind of got in just at the tail end with this Battle Cat 2-pack, the Filmation Skeletor, and Sorceress, and that's pretty much it. Every other figure nowadays is like $150 to $200 as far as core characters. I'm out at that price point. If I had been in when they first came out, I'd been okay. But yeah, it's priced me out of a Masters of the Universe collection at this point. So I'm happy to have Revelations as a sort of second option. And you can mix and match. The characters and character designs of Masters of the Universe is pretty diverse. So I think you can even intermingle the Revelations with the Classics and still kind of have an okay display on that. So those are my thoughts. I really like this Man-at-Arms figure. He's always one of my favorite characters in He-Man. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good figure. Really good for the price point. If you can find him at retail, absolutely pick him up. I don't know what he's going for on the secondary market because I have stopped looking since I got mine. But there he is. You got lots of paint apps on him. You got orange paint, blue metallic. You got this flat blue on his helmet. Yeah, the armor is kind of what I remember it to be. I think it's a really solid figure, really solid offering from Revelations, despite the show's flaws. So that's a recommendation from me. If you can find it and you've got Classics, maybe you're like me and you missed out, there you go. Now you can see that you can actually, if it fits what you like to see, you can mix a Revelations and a Classics and get away with it. So that's it. Till next time, toy hunters, good hunting.